Hi guys, welcome back to the baseline. Thanks for joining me. So Trump's handpicked prosecutor just humiliated herself in court. Now you felt it, right? Haven't you? That sinking feeling that the system isn't just broken, it's being played in broad daylight. And the people at the top are rewriting the rules, bending justice, and daring you to watch. And yet, every so often, that mask slips. And every so often, you see the machinery glitch. And today's story, it's not just a glitch, it's a prophecy fulfilled. Because when corruption eats its own institutions, when loyalty matters more than competence, the collapse doesn't come with a bang, it comes with an empty courtroom. So here's the headline today. Trump's hand-picked U.S. attorney walked into one of the most powerful federal courthouses in America completely and utterly alone. That's right. In the Eastern District of Virginia, a legendary office that has taken down terrorists, spies, some of the toughest corruption cases in history, the brand new Trump-appointed prosecutor showed up at James Comey's criminal case by herself. I mean, no team, no staff, not even a paralegal there to carry her brief. So let's pause and take a breath and ask yourself this. If this was a strong case, if this was a righteous fight, wouldn't young lawyers be lining up to stand at her side? Wouldn't seasoned prosecutors see this as their career-defining moment? Well, instead, she was abandoned. And that should tell you everything, right? Because this isn't just about James Comey. This is about the collapse of prosecutorial independence in the United States of America. And by the way, this is your stake in it here. Because if the Department of Justice can be turned into a loyalty test, if the Eastern District of Virginia can be gutted and hollowed out like a political plaything, then what happens the next time your freedoms, your job, your vote, your bank account depend on an honest court? And here's the shocking thing, right? The indictment itself is so flimsy that the judge literally asked, what am I looking at here? So let's spell that out. A 2-page document, duplicate counts, no real factual allegations. 1/3 of the grand jury didn't even buy it. This wasn't law, it was paperwork theater. And the woman sent to defend it, Lindsay Halligan, a 36-year-old insurance lawyer, and she has no prosecutorial experience, not even licensed in Virginia. She's never tried a federal case and never argued a criminal trial. I mean, she went from beauty pageants and museum boards to being Donald Trump's courtroom sword. I mean, I feel bad for her. I'm sure she's a competent attorney, but this is a tough one, right? Because you can laugh at those facts that I just laid out. In fact, let's take a quick aside and imagine applying to be a surgeon because you wanted to once watch Grey's Anatomy. That's how absurd this is, right? Because the humor hides a darker truth. This isn't just incompetence. This is sabotage. Trump isn't playing defense. He's planning loyalists in key districts to shut down the very offices that once held him accountable. Now think about that. The Eastern District of Virginia used to be feared. This was the office that prosecuted spies, that dismantled corruption rings, that kept Washington honest. And now it's kind of becoming a laughingstock led by someone who doesn't even know where the grand jury actually sits. And the staff, they know it, man. That's why no one walked into court with her. That's why her predecessor, Eric Siebert, a lifelong Republican prosecutor, Trump himself picked, refused to bring charges and instead wrote a memo saying, there's no case here. He was forced out. His deputy fired the next day. So what happens when the professionals stand up for the truth? They're purged? What happens when a loyalist says yes and she's left holding the bag? A career-ending humiliation in front of the entire nation. I don't know. Here's the question, and it should keep all of us up at night, right? If they can hollow out the Eastern District of Virginia, what other institutions are being gutted right now quietly behind this curtain? Because it's not just about one case against James Comey. It's about turning the machinery of justice into a loyalty test. And if you follow orders, you rise. And if you resist, you're erased. And let's talk about how thin this case really is. Because the Star allegation that Comey authorized a leak to the Wall Street Journal, except the evidence ended up saying the exact opposite. Multiple FBI officials, including Andy McCabe, testified that Comey never authorized it. He only found out after the fact. That's not hearsay, that's corroborated in Inspector General reports. So what did they even tell the grand jury? Did they hide the evidence? Did they present only half the story? Because if they told the truth, it's hard to imagine even 14 jurors voting to indict. And here's where the outrage spikes. Indictments aren't supposed to be presidential favors. Prosecutors aren't supposed to be stage props. Justice isn't supposed to look like Moscow show trials. Yet, here we are. A federal judge is now faced with an indictment so laughable that it may be tossed before it even ever sees a jury. And if that happens, it won't just be Halligan who's embarrassed. It will be the Department of Justice itself. Now, I don't say this lightly. This could be career ending for her, and I hope it's not, because I'm sure she's a great attorney, just not for this, right? But it could lead to sanctions, personal liability, a permanent stain on her record, all because she chose loyalty to Trump over loyalty to the law. I don't know, guys. But here's the bigger danger. If prosecutors across the country see this, if FBI agents are told to sign off on cases they don't believe in, if judges are forced to referee political vendettas instead of real crimes, then justice in America becomes a coin toss. And the coin, it's weighted by whoever sits in the Oval Office. And that's why the story should matter to you, to me, to all of us, because it's not just about James Comey or Lindsay Halligan, or even Trump for that matter. It's about whether the justice system itself survives when it's treated like a reality TV casting call. All right, guys, what do you think? Do I have this all right? Do I have it all wrong? Your opinion, it matters to me. So leave a comment in the section below. I read them all and I reply to them all. So again, thank you guys so much for watching The Baseline, and we'll catch you the next round. All right, cheers, everybody.